Hey everybody, welcome back to Farming Simulator 25, Riverbend Spring Scratch Start, episode 57. I have had quite a journey today, which I will get into very shortly. But we are coming in the middle of work, in the middle of the day. We had to skip the entire morning due to hail, and a bunch of our footage of harvesting that field and doing our chores was ruined by constant crashes and other issues. My voice may sound a little bit different, and you may be getting more mouth sounds and external sounds, sirens and wind and my chair squeaking and that sort of thing, because unfortunately NVIDIA broadcast does not play well anymore with my setup or with games. It uses so much GPU that it's nearly impossible to get 5 minutes without the game deciding that the GPU is gone and crashing. So, given that, our plan is to finish the harvesting. We have a couple of fields left to do. The canola is mainly... So canola in 81 and 2 we have to harvest still, and wheat in 25, and then we don't need to do the soybeans there yet, or the wheat in 13, which was planted late. So the 13 is next year. We are planning to something else I talked about, where I'm going to save 25 and what is it, 23 I guess, for cotton when we replant, which we'll begin doing next episode. We're going to obviously do 2 barley, 2 canola, although we're actually getting up a bit in the barley, and I may want to switch to sorghum for the chickens. I'm thinking about it anyway, so that we can run the barley into flour and have more flour, because the barley makes more than the oats do. Let me know what you think on that. Anyway, we just need to continue doing all of this. We did also load the sawmill with trees from over here. Just kind of clearing out that area and maybe putting something there eventually. We're slowly working our way down the row of trees here. I don't know if we'll ever need to plant trees. I don't believe we will, which is why I haven't planted any yet. I think we have so many trees available to us already that are of a decent size that it doesn't really do us any good to plant trees and, you know, use up that space. So, yeah, as I said, the plan is to finish this field and harvest the canola and the wheat up there in 25 and move on. So, yeah, I just spent the morning here, fighting with crazy graphical glitches and game crashes left and right, and it's been a serious slog. But I finally read a little bit about how NVIDIA broadcast is the culprit, And so it seems to be true, seems to be working fine without it. But again, unfortunately, we do end up with a little bit of a problem in that I can't filter out all of the external stuff. And since I live in a city, I'm not. Oh, I'm gonna have to drop this thing. I have to pick it up, unfold it. Since I live in a city and it's a fairly busy road, I'm forced to just deal with lots of noise. We got a lot of people with muffler problems. Just kidding. A lot of people with souped up cars love to drive past at high speeds. So you may hear that. I think that's it for the updates. We just gotta get, we gotta get this stuff fertilized as well. That's like an important bit to do. I'm just gonna drop this here and load it up and get on this canola tip here. Although I probably should have dropped it over there, since that's my actual curved corner. This is my curved corner, that's my straight corner. Down there, we actually need to do a bit of this ourselves anyway. The helper really gets confused. I don't know if it does with the MacDon, but with several of these fields, the helper really gets confused with some of this stuff. So let's get this cleaned up. I'm gonna just do the headlands here myself rather than waiting on, rather than watching the helper get stuck on poles and trees and whatnot. And I can't think of anything else that needs to be talked about at the moment. So I'm just gonna get this bit done and yeah, that's that. Alright, well, we experienced the classic MacDon swather bug where I decided that since I had done some of the headland that the whole field was done and that there was nothing to harvest. So I had to do the whole thing myself, and it is now swathed. And now we just gotta use the road here and get this thing over to the next location, which will be either 81 or 23. I guess we'll just roll over to 81 real quick and get that dealt with. And hopefully that one will actually just work and do its job, and I won't have to swath. Of course, I have to wait for the train, but we will deal with whatever happens. Well, it looks like the field has already been worked, according to my helper, who is apparently blind. So I have to swath this one as well, which just extends the amount of time I have to spend on this work, since I can't be over there picking up the swath, and helpers won't do that either. But whatever, we'll get it done. This is more canola here, and it's gonna keep our oil processing going and make us a bunch of money, which will be awesome. So we'll just continue on doing this. All right, that is the canola harvested and well, swathed anyway, and we can hop back down and hop back down. We can oh, I'm trying to connect to the wrong side. We can hop over to our wheat field 25 that we did put some work into. Even though it was just bought, we got it at a time when it was possible to weed and fertilize it. So hopefully it's got a decent yield, and that one is near 13, so I'll be able to just leave the MacDon over by 13 to do next month. And we're, well, not low, but we're passing gas stations. Might as well pop in and fill the tank. So right, I will see you over at field 25. I gotta go in and grab a candy bar and a soda or something. Alright, we're pulling up on 25 here. Our soybeans are looking good, aside from a bit of hail patching, but as we know, that is to be expected. So let's get ourselves turned around and get to swathing our wheat. I really hope I can move on and... Right, we got to get rid of the tram lines on this field for sure. And see, is he going to actually do it? He's actually going to do it. I wonder if it's the weird shaped fields, or whether it was the fact that I don't know. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, it's working this time. So that means I can leave him to it and go actually finish this work. Except before we do that, we're going to take the Deutz Fahr here and get it going on fertilizing all of these guys. because that's something a helper can do. This tractor has been sitting here burning diesel while I was busy doing other stuff. So right, we can finish picking up our oats and move on to picking up our canola. I would still love to have something I could vacuum the stuff out of this thing. It'd be cool to be able to stick it in a bigger trailer. Although 45, I guess, is pretty big as it is. So, or whatever it is, 43, 45, 45. That's right there on the screen in front of me. 45 is pretty big as normal trailers go. So we'll just keep an eye on the fertilization process. While we finish off oats and move on to canola. Only have a partial oats load left to do over here. And our wood is processing. We'll sell that in a couple of months again. All right. See you in a minute. All right, on to 81. And getting the canola here. We can get this back to the swath separator and whoops, oh, I'm driving on your field, sir. I might as well just pick it up, however. Doesn't really matter. The worker has done finished the little middle field now on fertilization. We should pop over, this guy's doing well too. We should hop over to this guy and get him fertilized up as well. All right. The fertilization definitely makes a difference by more than a couple bales, and so it's definitely worth doing. I am constantly thinking about kind of efficiency And what's the most efficient pattern to harvest, and the most efficient order to harvest? So yeah, with the wheat, we could leave our last load of wheat swath from 25 rather than driving it back. We could, assuming it's not a full load, we could, or even a partial load, we could leave it out there with the MacDon near 13. Rather than driving it back and then driving it back again. That will save us a little bit of gas, that will save us a little bit of other effort, and yeah, ending up over there rather than having to drive back to it is a bit of a time savings, not to mention the diesel and everything else. Well, while this is emptying, so look at that again real quick. Right, this guy here should be just about, yeah, he is just about done. Apparently the optimal nitrogen for grass is not that much. Alright, and he figures he's done, which is cool. But, so a full load without fertilization of bales got us 369, 12, 15, because the one on top on the end there is not as part of the second, that the one I did that was actually fertilized. And that's 14 bales in a stack, so that's 28. So that's nearly double yield. And maybe there's the second or third growth stage kind of thing on top of that, but I don't think so. I don't think that accounts for as much as just ensuring the nitrogen is exactly where it should be. So we can just go put this back 94% out. Leave that. And we can let those guys grow away again to their heart's content. It would be good to see if any of these freshly harvested fields need lime. And the answer is probably. 9 probably not, but 6, 7, 8, and 81 probably. So we're actually going to turn this guy back around and go start liming. And it's probably a good idea. We'll just go right down here and send him off to get this process started. This is something he can do. Now it doesn't look as bad as it did a minute ago. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it doesn't actually need it. Are you actually, you know what? That doesn't actually look like it needs it. Maybe that, The colors are weird. I can't even tell with the outdated data whether we're seeing it or not. It looks like we are doing some good here. Hopefully the helper is respecting everything. Okay, that's the end of the... Oh no, that's we still have canola to do over in 81. For some reason I thought we were just finishing the oats, having already forgotten that we were working over in 81. So, right, back to 81. Alright, we're back to doing the canola. And maybe I can just get all the way around the outside before needing to go. Dump. I think that's probably going to work. I think I want to kill that tree. But it's pretty small and I don't really want to drag it back, so maybe I'll just totally just cut it down. Although I guess I could just drag it off and sell it for $100 to the sawmill right there, which might be a valid option. So anyway, we're just going to continue on this tip and see you in a bit. Alright, the trailer is dumping canola, and I noticed while I was flipping through equipment that this was ready to move. 13 is going to be next. For some reason I thought I had turned myself around. But, oh, I did, but... Alright, weird. Very weird. Okay. Now we're actually arranged correctly. So, we're going to want to be doing 13 next, because soybean harvest isn't until like November. So let's have a quick look at that, just to validate and verify October or November, depending on when I planted them, which I think I planted them in time for October. But 13 is just right around the corner here, so we're going to go leave this guy over there. And then get back on. We gotta move the liming effort over. Well, I'm not sure if it's actually a valid good thing to do right now or not. They won't mind if I block the fire department, right? I don't think they'll mind. And we'll just let him do what he wants to do. Because we got more canola to pick up, and more canola after that. But stuff is progressing, and we appear to be past our crashing problems, so I am happy there. See you in a bit. Alright, that's the end of this canola patch, and now we can get on to patch, field, whatever. And now we can get on to field number 2, if we don't drive this thing into the river. It felt a little bit sketchy right there for a moment. Right, off field 2. Alright, it appeared 7 didn't really need lime, so I moved it on to 8 or 9. 8, I think, is that one up top. And we're just continuing with our collection of canola swath on field 2. Did have to refill the lime spreader, but that's always to be expected. I would love to be good enough at this to not keep missing little patches, even if they are only a liter, because every liter counts. But this is actually two lines. There's no way we can pick it all up in one shot. I do think it's a short enough run that I could just back it up. Or maybe not. Alright, anyway, we've just got this canola left. And then we can get on with going up to get that wheat. Well, while I was driving past, after dropping off the lime cart, I realized I should probably fill up the chicken food. I haven't looked at it, but I know I haven't done it in a couple of months, so it's definitely something that's needed. And we definitely have the barley. Oops, right. Yeah, 110k barley, so we're doing good on barley. Barley fed chicken, eggs, for the win. And so I figure we'll just get this finished up before we continue with our canola effort. And now we can move on and finish up the canola. And they really go through very little grass, especially on these seasons here. We'll just keep picking up canola. I think I have another load plus a little, probably, to do, and then we can move on to the wheat. Well, that's the last of the canola, which I don't think I actually turned on. Right. And so now we need to get up and start working on the wheat. However, I keep forgetting, I keep meaning to pop in here and just do quick repairs since we have it right here. And might improve something, or at least keep things manageable, so we don't end up with a surprise $1 million tractor repair bill, which I believe might be something that could happen later. I don't usually drive through this neighborhood. I'm sure they're happy with that, but we are doing it today. And it's actually quite the kind of shortcut. It's quite a bit faster if you actually navigate the turns correctly to, I mean, I've gotten lost in that neighborhood, definitely not gone as fast through as I could have, but if you get the right turns like I did that time, you get through there pretty quick. It'd be nice to be able to, you know, get that field, but we can't afford it right now. There are probably things I could sell that would cause us to be able to afford it, but not this time. So we've got a bunch of wheat to pick up, and it looks like I have to drive over this twice for some reason, but I can't get it lined up. We'll get it on the next runner next time we're in that particular part of the field. So right, it's just wheat now, and I guess we'll just turn the wheat into flour, since I don't think we're going to end up with enough wheat off this and 13 to feel like I have enough in stock to keep the chickens fed. I like having more than I could possibly need, so that I'm sure that I'm not going to run out. It looks like something weird happened along here. We'll get it all picked up eventually. I'm wondering if it's not a terrible idea to, now that we've got a couple fields here, if we buy those two fields, maybe we pick up a farmland nearby and flip a swath separator up here that could distribute whatever we're growing up here to our, well, it could probably distribute the barley to or whatever we put in it to the grain mill. have to necessarily cart it. But just idle thought. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, as kind of predicted, or hoped for anyway. I wonder if I can... No, I can't really snake through there. Kind of hoping I could, but I'm pretty sure that's like... Yeah, there's a lake there. But as I was saying, as predicted or hoped, we've just got a little bit of wheat left, or wheat swath left in here, so I'm just going to park it over by 13 and continue to fill next time, instead of driving it all the way back and dealing with all that. But we got a decent amount here. In total out of all of our fields. So I'll just, no, that's not a good place to put that. I'll put this right along here. Ready to spring into action. We've got, yeah, we've got some wheat with apparently terrible pH for some reason. But should be good next time. And if we go over here and have a quick look at this guy. We've got lots of canola swath, oat swath, and wheat swath all rocking along. We've got 88K barley for the coming season and a whole bunch of straw, and that's all good there. Rope maker has wool and is doing stuff. I should be paying for cotton cycles though. Sawmill's mostly full, looking good. Grain mill is out of everything, so that's impacting our bread production. So we'll get this guy over here and get whatever oats and canola we can. And I didn't actually look to see if we had products to sell this month. So much distraction from my graphical issues and my game crashing and everything that I just didn't look. So oat can go and canola can go, and those can get rocking again. We'll have more oats next time to throw in there. And that'll work. That'll work just fine. Right, and I think that oat is actually just the weird registration of stuff that's not actually in there. Like I could take that 6K oat and put it in here again and again and again. So we're not going to do that. But that's basically it, except for looking at sales, which I expect there's nothing Oh, soybeans. I should really sell the soybeans, which I will set up to do. So, it's just 2K soybeans, but today is the day to do it. And I think I saw grain terminal 2, which now I can't see because it's in a trailer, but we'll go here and see it. If we can find it. Soybeans. Well, last month I guess would have been better, but Terminal 2 looks like the best, and that's right around the corner. That's not going to get us to field purchasing levels, or at least nothing big. It would be cool to buy one of these ready to harvest fields, but then I wouldn't have had any time to improve the yield anyway, so maybe it's better that we don't. So we take a quick look while thinking about it. That looks fine, honestly. That one maybe could take some lime, looking pretty yellow. But we'll do that next month. Because I don't know, I can't, aside from 13, I can't think of any harvesting that needs to be done. So it'll just all be all about starting our canola planting and prepping things for other fields. This is a little trailer, so I don't really have too much worry about selling it there. I did see a soybean products factory, like I think it might have been a tofu factory or something. That would allow us to do more than just sell our soybeans. But yeah, I think I can say we are done for the month, and finally successfully. A rocky start for me, but in the end we got there. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will catch you next time.